Okay, so this is what we're after. We have a 7/16 hex bar. We're drilling that with 256 threads, and we're not doing any chamfering, leaving it all square. And I believe we're going to do about 90 thousandths thick. I'm up to work out some new numbers because my last time I was doing this, I was using this parting blade. Okay, and today we're going to start off with this parting blade. So quite a difference. This parting blade is angled a bit like this, and hopefully it's going to give me a nice clean separation. But we'll see. It's also a gross waste of brass. Probably triples the amount of waste. So I previously put a spotting drill on this. I had in this arbor, in this MT2 tool holder. These are blanks that I bought. You can machine them to hold whatever you want. I have one here that holds my my Jacob's Chuck 1A. It's got a tang on it. So those are quite handy. I think they're about $15, $17 a piece. Anyway, I did my spotting drill, and I noticed my spot was not in the center. And that was a hand ground spotting drill, the one I'm speaking of, and it had a center drill on one end and a spotting drill on the other, and it was easy just to get an Allen wrench on here and flip it around and change it for whatever job you had. So we'll set that aside, and now we're going to go with our drill bit. And like I say, it's been a while since I've done any of these, and I don't remember what size drill that is. So I go to my only reference here. Well, not my only reference. Okay. So this is number 256. It's a drill size 50. There's also a 356, but I think I'm right, it's a 256. So I got a number 50 drill bit in there. So what I've been able to do in the past is drill in a good inch and actually tap as much an inch, and I could get four nuts done. Let's see, that's deflecting also. There's some dirt inside my under my tailstock. No, that's still off. Let's try this larger chuck and see. Just try to narrow down what the problem might be. Okay, where's my chuck key for said drill bit. It's a shame it's not lining up, and it almost has to be. Well, it's either my tailstock or it's that tool holder. Okay, one kind of trick that I learned from somebody, I think it was Blondie Hacks, is to kind of spin this drill around as you're tightening it, and it kind of ensures that you're in there straight. And because part of the problem is the drill doesn't spin. See, that's perfect. That's right on there. The drill doesn't spin, therefore you can't really tell right off the bat that you have a problem. And this lines up perfectly. Now, one thing I did learn in the earlier, I'm going to put a chuck key on that drill bit. One thing I did learn is to tighten up the chuck. I noticed my last nut in a sequence, the threaded hole was no longer in the center of the nut. So you got to be careful that you're not deflecting out. So I think as long as you clear the chips frequently, and I think I get, let's see here, how many turns I get. I get about one turn of my tailstock quill dial. And then I want to pull it out and clean it. I told myself when I started this I wasn't going to do all the same practices, and that is not do exactly what I am doing, is I'm taking this and drilling this in as far as I can with this bit, as long as I have flutes. And the idea is I'm only, especially with this larger parting blade, I'm probably only going to get, I may only get 2 nuts and I have to drill and tap again. And you know what? That's a good enough reason to change parting blades. Because, man, that's going to really slow down the whole process. Tell you what, we're gonna pull this out. Let me set up the next part of this. Okay, for the next part of this, I have a Starrett D, letter D pin vise. And this is one of those things I had no idea what a pin vise was. This was in one of the toolboxes that I acquired. And, looking through some catalogs or seeing some YouTube videos, I discovered that this was called a pin vise. So I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to try to bring the tailstock, unlock it, Dewey. Get right up there. I'm going to lock it. I still can back. No, I can't either. I want to have the ability to be right up there, but still back it off enough to pull my pin vise out. So we got a dead center in here. Okay. And give it a couple turns, give the tailstock a turn. Let the tailstock catch up. And I'm going to back the tailstock off and give this a little backward turn and back forward again. And you'll probably be pretty shocked at I don't know how rough I can be with this thing, but I have not broke a tap in this procedure. You know, I've made probably 200 of these nuts. Of course, you know, once you start bragging about something, I'm going to bring my tailstock back so I can get this thing clear. I'm going to get a little air on that. The trouble is with this, who knows if you're blowing anything out of that tiny hole. And tap is clean. And I'm going to bring the tailstock back in to be sure I get the same start. So now I'm going to turn it, both things at the same time. I don't know if you can. Where are we at? Here's the handle. Okay. Just to be sure I'm not cross-threading that, reinserting it. Okay, now I'm going to bring the tailstock out of the picture. Okay, I got a little bit more to go. I'm going to go the other direction, I think. Okay. Well, that's all the way. I'm going to back my quill out again and make sure I got enough room to get this thing out of here without bumping anybody. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and use this. Gosh, do I really want to use that big thick parting tool? The nice advantage of this parting tool is that it is kind of beveled. So theoretically, it's going to leave your piece clean. So theoretically, but man, that is a lot. That is a lot of waste. So this is basically how I was doing it. I'm taking it down here. First, I'm going to bring this up and see how I am on the squareness. My tool is square. Okay, so I bring out the, okay, I need a magnet. Put that magnet right here. Need to take the tailstock off. Need to place on my digital, forget it. It's like a 4-inch Harbor Freight digital caliber, and I ground off all the pointy parts of it on my 8-inch Harbor Freight grinder. Just pull that up there, I capture that. So I'm going to put the, okay, I got the work up against the face, and I'm going to push 0. I'm going to bring it back, and I'm just going to pick an arbitrary number. I mean, with the other parting blade, I knew, where I had to go. I would go, I think, 100 thousandths, and that gave me about a 80, 90 thousandths nut. Well, I'm just going to do this. This is really a waste of material. I'm pulling that. I'm going to pull that parting blade out of there. So these two parting blades, this one's about 90 thousandths, and this one's like 30, 39. Yeah. It's not a very hard decision to justify. Let me bring that up, and we'll determine how much blade we need sticking out. Give it a hair more than I think I need. This is a homemade wrench I made for using my parting blade. It's no big deal, it's just kind of fun. It sticks right up on the wall. Okay, now I have some numbers I'm familiar with. So let's put that blade up against the part, and that's good. I'm going to zero it out. I'm going to pull this back, and I'm going to go, I think it's 110 thousandths is what I was doing. Okay, I'm going to lock the carriage, and we should be able to get 3, in the right direction, 3, maybe 4 nuts. Yeah, it's insane to use that. It would be silly to use that big heavy parting blade. Yep, I like that. So that was 110 thousandths. Take away the thickness of the blade, which we're going to say is 40, so it's a 70 thousandths thickness on the nut. And then the smoother you can keep this moving, of course, the better the finish you're going to have in there. We'll go ahead and clean off that push that blade in, clean off that burr, and that'll save me from having to face that off. So let's look at our nut. We have a little bit. Let's see, let's get this back on the finger. I just never quite know how much of this you guys are, how well you're seeing this. So I think I'm going to have to, you see the striations in that. Now if I was moving that blade, if I was moving that whole thing a little like with like a power feed, that would not be a problem. Let me show you what I have on my drill press here. I'm not sure what number that is or what size it is. So and once again, I don't want to really go in there too deep. I'm not really happy with that. Both sides. Where the hell did the camera go? Okay, like I said, I'm really not happy with that at all. That is like a pyramid. It's raised in the center. I'm gonna do something here and just show you. We can do it on this surface, I guess. Okay, here's some. This is pretty flat. So there's some 600 paper here. Do a little figure 8 on there. I just want to show you how poorly that is. Here, you can see where I've sanded. I'm miles from being flat. Okay, let's try that one more time. See. So I'm taking the blade back up. Yeah, okay, I think I see the problem already. So I'm 120 here. I'm going to zero this. I'm going to back the blade up. I'm going to go to 110. See if I do like that thickness. Where'd that nut go? Yeah, that might be a little thick. I might want to go less than that. That is on the, of course there's measurements all over this thing. And on the outer edge, that is 72 thousandths. Hey Whitey. In a rare appearance, there she is. He is. Rare appearance, Whitey the cat. Okay, so let's see if we can do this time without having those striations. So give me just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I've never done this before, but I'm going to use my power feed. That was interesting. There's a reason why I never did that before. Well, like I said, I was going to do a little video for the benefit of the new subscribers. Show making these little 256 nuts, which I have made, you know, in the neighborhood of 200 all. Not only passable, but good looking pieces. And I can't seem to do one today. So I'm probably going to break the saddle down, get all that tuned up, put back together. And I'll probably be able to slice right through that stuff. But today, I kind of feel like this guy. Just a little out of sorts. Okay, like and subscribe, tell a buddy, bring a friend. Tonight, I was watching Active Atom. These guys are a trip. They're a recent subscriber of mine. I used to watch them quite a bit and kind of fell away. I'm back. And very nice mix. Very knowledgeable, and they're a frickin' riot. Literally, yeah. Active Atom. Needs to work on his hair there. Yeah, they're funnier than shit. Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Didn't even mention the new lathe tonight, did I? You know, I thought I was just gonna get the camera fired up and show this procedure of making these nuts. And what I ended up making was basically I made a bunch of tops. Yeah, I'm going to pull this carriage off the lathe and get all that stuff adjusted and just get it tuned back up. I really haven't done any adjusting to that since I did that video where I was, pushing this thing really hard. With, what did I title that video? Being an Idiot? It's close. Myths about the Harbor Freight mini lathe. So I chucked up a bunch of steel and making 100,000 cuts and just beat my machine up. So you need to take it apart, tighten everything up, put it back together, and I should be fine. So thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching. Furthermore, thank you most of all for your comments and your advice. And sometimes just saying hey. Bye guys.